Okay, this is just a couple of pictures. Last weekend, why we had an NMRA convention meeting, and we had about 150 people there. And I showed this about 40 times. I was really surprised that that many people were interested in it. And of course, everybody's going to say, "Why in the world do you want to make it upside down?" Uh, if you want to make tufts, you doing it upside down gets all the grass uh, sticking straight up. You don't have nothing laying down in the glue. You can also use it on by using uh, plaster cloth. You can make it on plaster cloth and then turn around and add it to an existing layout. Uh, I look at it, everything goes by the 3 foot rule. When we build trees, we work, make sure the trees in the beginning are in the foreground are the best. Those in the back we don't care as much about because all you see is the tops. So I think that's the same with static grass. If you want something in the front that's a little bit different, you can make something like this with it. Make tufts, or you can make a strip with it. And of course, Walter sells it pre-made in different lengths and widths. So anyway, this was the very first one that I made. Reason I made the wood. Oh, I suspect you can see my cursor here.
Yeah, we can.
I the reason I made that was is that it was easier to do what I wanted to do than uh, put something in the vise and just put some boards up and then tack some other things on. So I thought, well, I'll make this little L device. So this was the my static grass machine that I use for doing it. I would call it the normal way. You have two probes. One probe goes to into the nail, and the other one goes into the other probe is inside the tube. And in this case, I was able to come out of the tube with this yellow uh, alligator clip, and I attached that to a couple of nails so that I could put the item I wanted to put glue on. And then the other side of it, I attached to this metal plate, which you're looking at the edge of it. That's right here. So that's what the first one looked like. That's what it looked like on top. See, here's the other side of it. You can call it negative or whatever it is. And in order to get, so these nails are tied together with wire, and this is nothing but a piece of ceiling tile. And in order to get the whole thing pretty well negative, I also put two nails on this side to try to make this the whole thing negative. So here's the original one I got. You can see it, the yellow going through there. That'll go back to those nails. The other one, oh, I'm sorry. I guess I did for this particular picture. It's the yellow goes to the where the grass is going to be, and the one that goes to the nail is going up to the nails that hold it. That's the other one. I guess is this green one here. So I had this rather large diorama that I wanted to put some grass on. So you can see all of the different places that I put alligator clips to make sure I got enough negative on the plate. And this time it's on a hinged thing. The other one was up here on these nails. And this is attached to a piece of metal here. And then I also added the wires to this edge over here. Again, you want to get as negative as you could get it, or positive. So here's some examples on a piece of paper. You can put grass on absolutely anything, and you can see that it all stands right straight up. Because you're doing it upside down. The only thing it can do is fall straight down. There's no way it falls into the glue. The other advantage is if you sweep it up off the floor, there's always some goes on the floor. You get dirt in it, which won't go through your static machine, but it'll work fine this way because the dirt does not get attracted to going up. So this is another piece of example that I was doing some testing on. there's a couple of tufts I made. I've not been near as, I've not made tufts all that well yet. I think that people who make them use the cooking parchment paper. And I've tried that, but I just didn't seem to get as good a job as I wanted on it. But everything is trial and error on this. So this is an area that we showed down at around the bend, and here's where I put leaves on the grass, and I'll show you how I did that. And then I put the tops up on the top of the blossoms, and the leaves are not all the way back. If you could look back in here, which you can't very well, you'd see there really wasn't many leaves there. The leaves are right along the edge where you can see them. Back in here, you can kind of tell that there are no leaves back there. I didn't do anything back there. And I think everybody saw this when I put it out, but I did that in the same manner. Did it upside down and planted the grass in there. Cause I like
Nice.
I like 10 millimeter because, you know, out in Iowa, the horse weeds get up to about 10, 12 feet tall. And most of us just put a little bit of grass down, looks like a lawn or a golf course. So, you know, it's all in what you want to do. So with that, is there any questions before we start the little movie?
How do you get the grass to go up? I mean,
I will show you that in a minute.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but when Ron was demonstrating this at the conference, the youngsters who were there, I think they were really, really delighted and amazed. This is just like Mr. Science doing something, you know, wild and crazy.
Yeah, we definitely had had that happen where it was. Let's see, I got to get rid of this. Figure out what I'm doing here.
So by youngsters, you mean people Greg's age?
Younger than me.
All of us. I was impressed with when I saw it in action. It was just great.
Well, I think it does have some use, particularly making small tufts and things like that. And you can buy tufts, but that stuff's pretty expensive. This would make these things very quickly and easily. And you might have a place where down along your stream or something that you'd want to have a little extra detail. So with that, I'm going to try a movie that I made. Let's see. Now, let's see. Hit the screen. Does that work for you?
Yeah,
Or didn't it?
yep, we're seeing your screen.
But is it a complete screen or just partial?
No, it's full screen.
Yeah, you got it.
All right.
We'll see if we hear it. Otherwise, we might have to reshare with the video and audio buttons clicked.
Okay. I only reason I put this paper here was to take you get a better picture of what's going to happen here. And this is the grass machine over here, the static machine, which Tom Status had made a long time ago. It works fine. I connected to the back rather than using my other machine. That way I don't tie it up. I didn't think this one had quite the power, and I think power is important when you're trying to make static grass. The other thing I think is the texture of your glue. If it's way too thin or runny, then I think you have a lot more of the grass that falls down. I think Jason not is probably does as good a job as anybody that I know from making static grass. So here comes the movie. maybe.
So I'm gonna make a little test of static grass upside down. I never was satisfied with the grass that lays down in the glue. So a friend of mine, Rod, and I thought there ought to be a better way. You know, the prep is the same. You use the same kind of glue, same kind of grass and everything else, except where you put the grass on, you put upside down. And you need to build you something to bracket to hold that. It can be anything, put in the bison and a couple of plants. So you get your grass static generator, and you take one wire and you hook it onto either a wire or a plate or something that you could put that receiving area next to. And the other wire you put on a plate which becomes your grass folder. So I'm going to take and put some glue on here.
Ron, I don't think your movie is showing. We're just seeing the board with the white paper on it.
That's it. At this point, we're only talking.
Okay, didn't know that. I was expecting to see something start moving as you're
No, we're
demonstrating.
only talking yet. I
Okay,
probably should have said for this example, it's a good time to stop here. I just used a piece of cardboard. I just cut a piece of cardboard off of a box. And you see these two nails up here. That's what I'm going to put that cardboard on. And these nails are connected down here to the static machine. And the other side of it is connected to the plate, which you just barely can see down here. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a bigger picture than that. So, any questions? All right, I'll move on.
I'll put a piece of cardboard up for a test. You can use anything, really. Then I'm going to take and put a little bit of grass on this plate here. Put a little variety of grass. Some big, some little. I'll turn everything on. I will watch it. Put it down. Off. So there is the grass that all sticks right straight up. So you can make all kinds of things with that, including putting it on
At this point, I forgot what I was trying to say. I meant to say plaster, the plaster cloth like you use when you break a leg or something. And but we'll talk about that in a minute. So, did you see it go up? Do I need to show you again?
No, I saw it.
Now, that looked a little bit thin, and part of that could be the fact that there only are two nails here. If you really want to get a little bit heavier, you might want to put a pair of nails on the other side and connect it. The more you can make that, again, I don't know if it's positive or negative. We'll just call it negative. The more you can make that negative, the better the grass is going to fly up. You know, it's the old static thing that you get with static cling and stuff. Here you can see the plate. It doesn't matter what kind it is. This one happens to be aluminum. And I just had it, and that works just fine. You can see not much grass is left here. Now this is grass that has fell down off of that, and I'll just sweep that up and use it all over again. So the next thing I thought I would do is do a little bit of work with putting leaves on some static grass.
some type of okay, trying something else. We're going to try putting some leaves on the grass stems. So this was made earlier, and it shows the stems there. I'm going to put just a little bit of hairspray on it. now I'm gonna take and put a little bit of this on my
I find the very finest of the turf is the best stuff.
here. Try it that way first. We'll blow it on.
Not the best picture.
I'm gonna try it with just a little piece of metal. Give it a little spray again. This time I'm gonna raise it up a little more.
This time I got my finger in the way so you can't see anything. You can see a little more got on there.
This time I'm using a little different kind of turf.
And now my mistake. I happened to pick up a package of coarse turf instead of the fine stuff, and that's why that looks like there's a big head there on top there in that one area. That was really too big for leaves.
And I'm gonna try to put some blossoms on top of it. I raised it up so that I'm not down to the level of the bottom of it, so just a little bit of hair spread on it.
The reason I use a straw or that brass pipe is it's just easier to get at than to try to put your head down there and blow on that area. So I think that's it for that. Was there any questions?
That's good.
I haven't seen anybody excited about saying, when can I do it?
Well, you had a lot of takers over the weekend. That was good.
Bob
I've
fell
never-
asleep already.
I've never done static grass. What type of glues is it? Does it have to be a special thing? Or just any glue?
Well, down there, last weekend, I used just plain, white glue, school white glue.
Okay,
And, we, spread it a little bit with adding a little bit of water to it.
Needs to conduct, it's got to conduct electricity.
okay,
Yeah, I use standard Elmer's white glue or equivalent. And I pretty much put it on full strength from the bottle, and let it set for, say, 30 seconds to a minute to get a little bit more tackiness to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I found when you thin it with water, it loses some of its tackiness. So,
Matte media is another one. I kind of like that better.
okay.
Now, I didn't show you this, but we, on a existing layout, he wanted to make some pasture. And we took this, the cloth, the plaster cloth, and I just sprayed it with just regular brown spray paint. And it worked very, very well. And to put a second coat on, I just gave it another spray with a green and added another layer of grass to it. So I guess that's it for me.
All right, thanks, Ron. That was fun. Anybody else got anything they want to present tonight? Rich, you're muted if you're talking. Actually, you're muted whether you're talking or not. Still muted here. Maybe I can help.
Greg, I sent you that link to the 3.5.
Oh,
minute
that's right. Yeah, I was
video
thinking to
you wanna use
myself,
that.
yeah, I can show that. So Neil has sent a CBS news item on a layout that he's seen a couple of times. So let me bring that up.
Think of a model railroad and the tradition of a train circling around a Christmas tree. That might come to mind.
Yeah, but as Alicia Bergio shows us, there's a couple in Milford Township that turned their passion for the locomotive into a model railroad masterpiece.
For 16 years, Brooke and Jay Qualman here in Milford Township have been building their model railroad. And let me tell you, it is quite the sight to see. A scenic train ride across Michigan. No better way to capture the charm of our state. In the 1950s.
We started building in 2007, and we're still building.
This model railroad is more than just a hobby for Brooke and Jay Qualman.
It's a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it.
It's a passion project devoted to their past.
What we really wanted to do is capture the family history of Brooks' family and my family. And that meant going back and retrieving information, because a lot of it was gone. And we wanted to do it in the early 1950s era, which was a good day for railroading.
What started as an intriguing challenge during retirement for this duo
Model railroading fit the bill, loved it when I was a kid.
has now grown into a locomotive landscape at their home.
He said, you know, you could build some family houses. And I thought, well, that sounds really interesting. And it just sort of blossomed from there. And I got really hooked, and now it's kind of dangerous how much I enjoy it.
Each building and piece of landscape.
This is a ground foam, and this is what we use for like grass and bushes.
A giant puzzle created by hand.
It probably takes about a week to 2 for the basic building, and then it probably takes another 3 or 4 weeks for all the detailing and the painting and the weathering and everything that goes into it. It really is very time consuming.
Brooks' first beat, the Potter Street Station in Saginaw, a city home to Jay's family, dating back to the 1800s.
He handed me a picture of that and said, here, start with this. It took 6 months.
A 3,000 square foot meticulous display, showcasing nearly 15 towns and cities in Michigan, including where Jay began his career.
The place I started with General Motors is at the Buick Engineering Complex in Flint, Michigan.
Core memories from their childhood also brought to life.
The White House on the end there is in Grosse Pointe, and I was there from age 14 till I got married.
My grandmother grew up in this house here, the one with the pillars.
A railroading trip down memory lane. Through Ann Arbor, Holly, Highland, and of course, Milford, to name a few spots.
Most of the buildings in Milford are still here, so it was very easy to copy them. I went downtown with a box of paints to match all the brick colors because the buildings are still there.
Countless hours of research and crafting, a project taken years to create, but one well worth the reward.
It's really like a job, which I always enjoyed the work. But the beauty of this is it's a short commute because you just have to come downstairs.
Do you ever come down here, just stop and look and go, wow, I can't believe we created all of this?
I do. I really do. It just blows my mind somehow that we've been able to do this.
The Qualman say since they've started this project, sometimes they open up their home for the public to come enjoy their model railroad. The next time they plan to do that is spring 2024. Reporting for CBS News Detroit, I'm Alicia Bergio.
All right. Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, that last view where the announcer was on the porch, it's on the east side of their house. where the basement level is all windows on that side, and down the hill is the, Great Lakes Central. And then there's a park across the way, so you wouldn't even know they're in a subdivision. That will be one of the layouts on the tour for the North Central Region Convention, which is in October 10th through 13th.
That's October, this October.
This October.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
the following year, the national convention will
Yeah,
be in
yeah, that's
July, and
right.
it will certainly be open for that also.
Yeah, that's in July or August, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. Thank you, Neil. Anything else tonight, gentlemen? All right. Well, we'll call it a night then. And some of you I'll see in a half hour. I saw many of you over the weekend. Thanks for supporting our convention. It was a success. And so thanks for coming out for that. And thanks for all the hard work for those of you guys that were on the committee. And we'll have our wrap-up call here in a half hour. So.
And congratulations to the committee on an excellent convention. Really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Yep,
Neil.
had a great time. Yeah. So.
Great. All right. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody.
Mhm.
Night.
Good night.